In the last 30 days I've been sculpting a lot of heads. I started from zero knowledge in human head anatomy, and after so much effort and trials and failures and emotional breakdowns, of course, and sense of insecurity and depression, I achieved something decent. In this video I will show you my approach and the resources I used, hoping you could find it useful, but first a bit of context. Honestly, I've already used Blender in the past. You have to know that something like 3 or 4 years ago maybe, I played a bit with it. I used to make easy stuff like the house of my dreams, a Necron monolith from Warhammer 40k, and a scene related to the best character of League of Legends. Yeah, Jin. Oh my god, just look at how much perfect he is! By the way, I also tried to do some sculpting. I made a cat with very visible health issues, a super improvised statue that reminds me of the talking head in Art Attack show, if you are old enough.
Cut it out!
And I also tried to make a face. Well, let's forget about it, please. I was having fun learning 3D, but I got busy with life and I put Blender aside, to the point that I completely forgot about it. The result is that I literally no longer have any more the knowledge I had years ago, so I have to start from zero again, by day 1, the day of realization. Because I started the challenge with too much confidence. I grabbed a cup of coffee and with a cigarette in my mouth and without any reference I started sculpting my first head. And then I realized that I suck. Right after I tried to do another head, this one. Yeah, this one made me rage quit and jump to day 2. Instead of just sculpting on my own like in the previous day, I thought it could be smart to watch some tutorials first. The most interesting ones I found are from Sculpt and Speed Char. After watching their videos, I tried to sculpt again a few heads, 3 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4! Well, they have more facial features than the previous ones because I put more time into each one, but the main shapes are extremely wrong. I mean, that forehead and that temporal lines don't make any sense, exactly like the shape of the skull and the proportions. But here I try to keep a more practical mindset, without involving too many unnecessary emotions. After all, I just started, so I could not expect good results, in theory. In the 3rd day I watched again more tutorials from other people as well. I literally tried to suck everything I could and use it to improve, and then I sculpted again these 3 heads with references. In the first one I got interrupted mid-session, so I left it unfinished, obviously. The second one is the one I like most from that day. I know it has a lot of mistakes, but when I made it I found it cool. The third one is generally meh, but it has better and worse things than the second one. Day 4. In the 4th day I felt a bit overwhelmed, because learning all by myself and relying only on tutorials, at least for me, is harder than following a school or a professor. I thought I needed a guide, so I bought a course from Speedchar. I chose his course because I liked his videos and because he knows anatomy very good, and he is also funny.
Link in the description of those videos.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing.
By the way, I looked at all of my previous heads, looking for my weak spots. At first I thought I had to improve my facial features, but then I realized that it would have been maybe better to improve the main shapes of the head first. So in the day 4, 5 and 6 I followed Nico's tips, and I only made the Zaro heads and planes of the face.
This will be a very nice thing.
These 2 are from day 4, these from day 5 and these from day 6. As you can see, the shapes of the last ones are much better than everything I did so far. In the day 7 I did something that almost nobody suggests to do. I sculpted without references. Don't get me wrong, using references is extremely helpful, but practicing without them can be useful to check your raw progress, to see if there is new knowledge stuck in your brain like a tadpole. So I made these 2 heads. Okay, they are worse indeed than the previous ones, but I remind you, this was the first one. Oh my god, you see? Progress. By the way, I spent the day 8 working in the bar the whole day, so no heads at all. But in the day 9 I put more time and effort than usual, and I made these 3. The first one is kinda cool in a way, it reminds me of an undead. Cool. The second one is just wrong, but it has a bit better facial features. And the third one, well,
a lot of issues, have to be careful.
Day 10, 11 and 12. I put these 3 days together for a reason. Here I actually started to enjoy sculpting. I made 2 heads each day. These are from day 10 these from day 11 and these from day 12. Let's analyze them one by one. This one from day 10 has a terrible skull shape and a wrong sternocleidomastoid. This one has a bit better overall shapes, but he looks annoyed for how I made his ears. This one looks like he's putting effort to stay alive. This one looks just dumb. This one looks gentle and welcoming, and the last one looks kinda soulless. Jokes aside, what I want to see is that if you can see beyond all those mistakes, these guys express emotions. Maybe they even have a story. Maybe he's about to have a heart stroke because his wife cheated on him. Maybe he can't poop because he loves lemons too much. Maybe he works 12 hours per day with people and he's so bored of dealing with their stupidity, superficiality and obviousness. Maybe he comes in peace from an advanced civilization and his mission is to help us fix all of our issues as individuals and as a society. Now seriously, in my opinion, knowledge and technique are important, but what makes art art is the story behind the artwork, the various interpretations and emotions the artwork can recall in people. Technically, there are still many wrong things here, but I felt I started making art.
Meraviglioso.
Anyways, day 13. Here I practice again without references to test the level I achieved. I made a crazy Asian guy who can dig directly into your soul, and a man made of concrete. Obviously, these two heads are much worse than the other ones I made with references, but remember, in the day 7 I made the same experiment, and that was my level of raw knowledge without references. In just 1 week I saw a huge improvement, and I decided to do a step further. I analyzed again all of the heads I've done so far to see my most common mistakes, the ones I did not want to keep repeating, and the first thing I noticed was the wrong head shape still. Nico, with his course, teaches the importance of understanding the structure of the skull.
For making sure you know the basics.
So in the day 14 and 15 I only made skulls. These two are from day 14 and this one, more complete, from day 15. Every single day I kept comparing my exercises with the first head ever. This comparison always gave me a lot of dopamine, but later we will talk again about this, don't worry. Day 16. I sculpted 3 heads, but I kept the facial features at the bare minimum. My intention was to see if, after the skulls, the shape of my heads would have been better, and it was, look! Okay, the first one is nothing special, but the second and the third one has potential. These are the most correct ones I've done so far. Thank you, Nico, for the skull practice. It has been extremely worth it.
I told you.
Day 17. Here didn't have much time, so I quickly made only one head, but it was not bad at all. Okay, don't look at it from profile view, his brain is huge, but from the front view he looks very good.
Really good.
In the day 18 I worked again in the bar the whole day, so I chose to do again just a quick exercise without references, and it came out not bad at all. I even gave him some accessories to celebrate it. The only problem is again that the back part of the head is still too big.
Damn it!
Day 19, for some unknown reason, has been amazing, because I made 3 very decent heads in a very short time. This is the first one. The skull is not too much wrong, the proportions are correct, and the facial features are not trash. This one excited me and pushed me to sculpt more without effort. So right after I made this one. I know it's worse and more stylized. By the way, for my brain he is a mix between Diabolic and Franco Trentolance, an Italian porn actor. And then I made this one as well. Something is off here, but it's still not too much bad. By the way, my heads have been decent lately, so you may think from here it would be a downhill and that I would keep improving exponentially, right? Well, wrong. In the day 20, 21, 22 and 23 I made literally nothing.
What the hell are you doing?
Right now I no longer remember what happened. Maybe the beautiful heads from day 19 inflated my ego enough to make me lose my motivation to keep practicing and improving. Or maybe shit happened in my life and I spent all of my free time feeling not good enough, overthinking, humiliating myself, eating junk food, abusing cigarettes and playing video games. But in the day 24 I tried to put my shit together and I forced myself to sculpt again. I made 3 heads. Now, remember the 3 amazing heads from day 19? Well, forget about them. These are the heads from day 24. I don't know if it was for my bad mood or because I took 4 days off, but I lost a lot of progress. The first one has mistakes everywhere, so is a piece of trash. Same for the second second one. I even tried to put some eyebrows to improve the overall look, but it looks pathetic. Only the third one could be saved with some fixing, but I was sad, so I left it like that. In the day 26 I noticed that my mood was going down and that it was affecting too much my practice. So to get logical again, I tried to remember Nico's words.
It's not a problem at all. You can do the head, do your head, and we're doing fine. It doesn't matter. But very important, practice makes perfect. So the more you practice it, the better you will become. Of course, it's a slow process, but still. As I said, we will fix it. We have to be careful about those things. And it's not a big issue. That's our goal in this life. We are doing fine. It's fine. We'll see.
That was amazing. By the way, I inspected the heads from the previous days and I chose to focus on one weak spot in particular, the mouth. So, in the day 26 I only sculpted the mouth. Wait, how am I supposed to pronounce the plural of mouth? Let's check that.
Mouths.
Mouths. Okay. So, in the day 26 I isolated my weak spot and I sculpted only mouths.
Congratulations, you won!
In the day 27 I made again only one head, but I tried to work from concept and make it become the most similar possible to the reference I used. This is the reference, and this is the head I made. I didn't nail it completely, but at least it's not completely different. Day 28. Here I remember I had a particular bad mood for a specific personal reason, but I forced myself to make at least one head. This one. Here I realized that my emotions affect my artistic skills a lot and I have no power on that. So I thought what I could do to fix this attitude. You know, doing things you really love can drastically improve your mood, and one of the things I love is fantasy and levels. So I thought, after all, why not? Why shouldn't I grab that very mid-head and turn it into a devil? So I did it, and this is the result. Making this devil literally fixed my day. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I like the outcome. Day 29. Here I grabbed again a reference, and I tried again to make something similar to it. This took 2 hours, it has been a slow practice, but I liked the outcome. It's not bad from all points of view. The only big mistake here is the back of the skull, it's still too big. Day 30. Last day of the challenge. Here I took some time to look back at everything I made in that month. I analyzed all the heads, I forced myself to notice and recognize the progress I made, and I did something I really should do more often. I say to myself, you did a good job, man, I'm proud of you. By the way, after that sweet moment of self-love filled with nicotine, I look back at my very first head. I remembered I made it without any reference, and so I chose to do the same for the last one, you know, to close the circle, and to prove to myself that all of those hours spent practicing left something permanent in me. So I put some lo-fi music and I started sculpting slowly and mindfully, trying to recall everything I learned, and I made this. Look at him, he is the living proof of the effort, the discipline, the self-sabotage and the personal dramas I forced to put aside. He is greatness, he is success, he is beautiful. He is the resume of 1 month of my life. If you are still here, congratulations, you deserve to receive my 50 cents. And to make things more interesting, I will tell you about them with a time-lapse in the background. The first suggestion is to take some time after every single practice to observe what you have done. Sounds like a threat. Be brutal, be the worst judge of yourself, and important, compare your last exercise with the previous ones. This will allow you to notice what you did better and what you did worse. This will help you avoid repeating the same mistakes over and over again. The second thing is about comparison. Almost everyone compares their level with the top level they want to achieve. You have to be careful when doing it, because if you start involving unnecessary emotions, it will fuel your insecurities and sabotage your progress and even a potential career. When you compare your art with the level you want to achieve, be sure you do it in a practical way, and always keep in mind that the top level requires years of practice for everyone. Instead, if you want some free dopamine by comparison, compare your actual level with the level you had some time ago or when you started. The third suggestion is to find a way to have fun while you practice. Your brain wants to feel pleasure, he is addicted to it, and I know what I'm talking about. If you love doing something, it will be easier for you to keep doing it, and the learning curve will be steeper. Remember the very meathead that I duplicated and transformed into a devil just for fun? This is a practical example of that. The fourth suggestion is that I think it will be easier for you to progress if you have a guide. I know, schools and academies are expensive, but there are so many good courses that can give you amazing knowledge. I feel I would have never done so much progress without Nico's course. So yeah, if you can, find a good course and follow it. By the way, I will leave a link in the description of Nico's ones. I know, I'm not getting paid. It would have been amazing though. I'm just sharing what worked for me. Lastly, a little bonus. Your last exercise will not always be better than the previous ones. Learning art is not like learning every other technical subject. Even if you know the rules, you will need a lot of time and practice to replicate them with reliability. Many times your old exercises will be better than the more recent ones. The important thing is not start seeing that in a bad way. Your last head suck, your old ones were better, good. Instead of crying and telling yourself you're getting worse, put effort to learn from your old ones as you do from other people's works. In my opinion, a very good single one exercise means progress indeed, but not in a reliable way. Real progress is seen from the average of at least 10 exercises compared with the average of 10 older exercises. I'm sure I explained it like shit, but I hope you got it. So yeah, I think I said everything and I won't keep you here more because time is precious. I hope this video has been useful for you. Now go back to your grind. You will do it, I already know it.